Hi everybody, this is Saiji Dan, Cy Miles. Blue Belt, we want to take this time to begin teaching you guys to ask two very important questions when you're coming to your realistic sport and self-defense training. I want you to ask why, and I want you to ask why not. Okay, it's time to start experimenting a little bit with your knowledge base. You guys are halfway through your progression now. You have a pretty solid knowledge base of things we're doing, and I want you guys to think about this. Think about this for a second. Why do we punch the jab to the face? Why not punch the belly? We punch jab to the face for lots of reasons. One, the jab is very fast, it's very quick, it interferes with sight, it can punch the nose, it can make the nose run, it can make the nose bleed, it can make the eyes water, it can close up the eyes, right? A jab with no gloves on can actually knock somebody out. So there's all these great reasons. But let's be honest, most of us throw the jab to the face because I taught you to throw the jab to the face. You're doing what I told you to do. Great. But I'm not going to be there when the bad guy shows up. So you need to start thinking outside the box a little bit. You need to start thinking about levels. A punch can be thrown anywhere. A kick can be thrown anywhere. If you start boxing it out to, I have a low kick, I have a middle kick, I have a high kick. Well, now you've got to think, which of those three kicks do you throw? No, you got a front kick. Throw it to the opening. You've got a jab. Throw it to the opening. You've got a hook. Throw it to where he's not guarding. Okay? So, here's an idea. Start adding this into your program. Remember last belt we did the jab drill, and we did 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Check this out. Cy Miles, right position, ready stance. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, good. Back up. All right. See, he's pretty good at that. Right, back up a little bit more for me. But what if I do this? 1, 1, 1. Right? Oh, he's jabbing to the belly. Now, Cy Miles is kind of experienced, so I can trust him to do this. I'm going to go for 1, 1, 1. I'm going to go head, belly, head. Now, I have to move pretty fast, and he will actually have to slow down because I can't move as fast as his jabs. But we're going to go 1, 1, 1, head, belly, head. 1, 1, 1. Okay? And that teaches you to start moving things around. All right? Stop 2. So you can start working different zones. Check this out. Ready position, ready stance. 3, 3, 3. Okay, now why would he throw that thing way up high like that? That's ridiculous. Oh, really? Are you sure? Because if he throws a 4, and I just drop, my 3 to the head is still covered. But if he comes over top of it, he's coming over my cover. Okay? Go to where I'm not guarding. Okay? Some people call that the big overhand right or the big overhand left. It's just a hook where you're rotating your thumb in a natural arc, right? Body, head, overhead, okay? It's the same punch, it's a hook, right? So start aiming for different things, and as a focus mitt holder, I can start working with him now. Check this out. He'll just do what I call out. 1, 2. Oh, 2 down here at the chest and sternum, okay? I could just make the 2 like that for a little while. 1, 2, 3, right? Or maybe I think that sternum will fold the guy down. 1, 2, 3. Right? And now I can start changing my levels. That's what changing levels is. In a nutshell, real simple. My jab can do this. Boom. My jab can do this. My jab can do this. Okay? My cross can do this. 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 Okay? My hook can do this. My hook can do this. Right? My hook can do this. My hook can do this. Right? My hook can do this. All right? My uppercut's a little limited. When you change your uppercut, it starts to be called something else. We call it a dig. But again, we're starting to create boxes. Throw the dig, throw the uppercut, It's the same punch. You're coming in like this. Dig, dig, uppercut. Okay? Those are simply new names of the same punch because it's levels. But you need to understand the concept of levels. All right? So what I want you to do is I want you to start working your drills as a team. I want you to start working your drills as a team where I, holding the focus mitts, will call out the punch and set the target. It's my job. His job is to punch the focus mitts with the punch I call out. So again, 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay? Now you've got to be careful about trying to punch really low down here, because look what's happening in my focus mitt. It's starting to go down. It's going to be really hard to punch a 2 down like that. So sometimes you've got to turn natural arc of your hands. So one of the most important lessons is actually for me, not for him. When I'm starting to throw levels, 1, 1. Right? I'm going to move it. 1, 1. Right? Chase it. 1, 1. All right. Side Miles, you're going to have fun with this one. Side Miles is going to show you what happens when you first start. He's going to throw his punches and he's going to miss just about everything. Okay? Do it on purpose. Just miss stuff. Okay? Because this happens. I get all these great ideas. This is awesome. Levels are so cool. Check this out. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3. Right? I start moving my focus and throw. 1, 2, 3. Trying to hit my gloves. Well, that's not it. You see, that's not what you're training. You're not training to follow a small floating target. This isn't Star Wars and you're not a Jedi. There's nothing shooting little laser beams at you while your eyes are closed. Okay? Put the gloves where they belong and tell him to hit them. Because in real life, I'm standing here and he's choosing the target in real life. If I've got my hands dropped down here, he's going to hit up here. Right? If I come up here, then he's going to punch down low. So we're not trying to trick him or make him choose quickly. We're providing a target that he would see, and we're holding them in the right way, and we're going to say 3, 4. Right? I'm putting him here. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay? I'm creating a target for him. He's seeing that it's a different level, and he's starting to work different levels. That's one of the first things you want to do. When you're training with a partner, that helps because it helps me, and it helps him. Think about it, learn, listen, hit different targets that he doesn't necessarily get to choose right away, but then he interprets the command and goes and does it. Okay? He sees the target after you call it out, and that helps him learn. The other thing you can do with this, of course, is you train on your own. It teaches a slightly different, and in some ways better. You put your floor bag up, or you put your heavy bag up, and then you start doing that. You start working methodically. You start working intelligently. Jab, jab, jab. Jab, jab, jab. Right? Jab, cross, jab, cross, jab, cross. Right? Hook, 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 hook. You start working different levels on your bag. And you get to choose. But it teaches you to work those levels. And that's what I want you to do. That's why we're having this little video. I want you to add varying your levels into the drills you already have. Working your 1, your 2, your 3, your 4, your 5, your 6. Putting them down here. Right? Please don't do this. Drop down. Okay? Working your movement and throwing your punches into different levels. Chasing with the jab. We talked about the 1, 1, 1. You can change levels with 1, 1, 1. One of the favorite things we do is what my instructor called unzipping your opponent. You pull the zipper down. You go 1, 1, 1. You pull the zipper down. What's the zipper? Of course, you know you're thinking of the zipper. The zipper is his hands. 1, 1, 1. Boom. 2 over top. See, when you start changing levels, you start dictating the pace of the fight, and you start getting your opponent to do what you want. Okay? You don't throw this punch to see if he'll drop his hands. You throw this punch so that he will drop his hands, and you can follow up with the cross. If you're wrong, the worst case scenario, he doesn't drop his hands, I punch into his gloves, but that's okay. Or I punch into his hands, that's okay. Because if he doesn't drop his hands, I hit him with this one. So you're dictating the pace of the fight now. If you can start changing your levels and looking for zones, and you pull down the zipper, boom, 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 right? All he has to do is collapse in. He collapses in, I have the hook, right? So we can start thinking about intelligent fighting and dictating his actions, not just mine. Okay, the psychology of fighting. We're at the point now in the level where we should start thinking about that. We should have a brain turned on and engaged when we're doing this stuff. All right? Let's show you some quick examples of how we can change these levels in different positions. Side Miles, put these focus mitts on. If I'm working out of my seated position, okay, and I want to change levels, well, we've been working changing levels from day one, haven't we? Because we're already at a different level than most people think. So here I am working my thing. He's got his guns open. I'm throwing my 1-2s, right? I'm throwing my 1-2s. I'm throwing my 1-2-3s. And I'm punching up here, right? And I'm punching my ones at real high. We've already been working on real high 1-2s, right? Punching upwards, right? Uppercuts. We know we've got to punch up to uppercuts. Well, uppercuts is our little secret here for seated position, okay? okay? Because if we go to what people call the dig, here's an uppercut, right? Who am I hitting? This is hard. I'm already at the end of my arc punching uppercut. That's hard for me to turn and hit, right? It's hard for me to reach that uppercut from here. Here's a great uppercut for a seated position, okay? The dig, okay? Now for the dig, I want you to turn them here, and I'm going to dig in like this, okay? So I can throw my dig here, okay? Pull those out of the way. Stand there, okay? There's changing the level of an uppercut for a seated position, all right? Now, if I can throw this one, we're dictating the pace. What do you think he's going to do? What do human beings do? Yeah, they lean forward and they put their hands down. Boom. Oh, look what he just did for me. Wham. Cross, okay? So now I'm dictating what he's doing. He's not in charge of this altercation anymore. I am, right? Because I know how to change the levels of my punches. And I know which punches I can work. If I'm training my basics, my one, and then I want to do 1-1, but he's going to put it down so I can punch to the gut. So it gets hard. Remember, as it gets hard, he can do this, and he can hold it about belt high. But anything below belt high, he's going to start tilting forward so I can't hit it anymore. See, I can't hit that, so he has to turn it upside down or sideways, okay? But right there, he can do it because it's still above his belt. So I punch, right? And he can still maintain the shock. But if he turns it out this way, he can lower it a little bit more, and now I've got my long punch or my jab to the groin, right? And if he puts both down, I can do my jab cross and turn my body, right? And I'm punching here now, okay? And I'm changing that level. We already understand levels tremendously because we change levels just by sitting down. But it's the same thing. Start changing your one, okay? Start working it with your training partner scientifically. Start unzipping the zipper, for example, and do the 1-1-1. See how he turned his hand? So we can work that, and I just work my jab down, okay? It's the same concept whether you're seated or not. And you can also work, remember, if you're seated, to always try to work your angles as well. So I might also step over there for me. So now, this hand's going to be weaker, but I've got a little more range with this hand, right? And still keep working those chambers down, because, and maybe zip them up, put the thing down. Because if I can't get him low, he starts bending forward. Boom, 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 right? Start working on that speed, okay? And then, of course, you can do it in front of a standing bag or a hanging heavy bag as well. And remember, I always say for a seated student, a hanging heavy bag might be better. You can get closer. You can raise it up over your lap. And it can get closer to you for good workouts. Just remember, we're always working at a range, okay? Because generally speaking, the bad guy's not going to come up and sit on your lap for you. All right. Same thing with the walker, okay? There is no difference in this with the walker. Same thing, change the levels. Put a walker here, I'm still doing it, okay? So as a walker, what's changed really? My balance point, nothing else. Get into my in stance or get into my L stance, get locked into my bag, however I'm comfortable, get in there, and then try to get my hands up and unzip the zipper. Right? 1, 2. That 2's a little low, right? So I'm moving around and I'm adjusting. And he's going to drop the 2 down, right? And it's really important to change my levels. It's really important. So take all the drills we've already taught and start changing where you're holding the focus mitt. Or if you put your heavy bag up, start changing your target zone and start hitting small, right? Like they always say, pick a tiny little dot and hit the dot, right? Don't just hit the bag. Hit what you're aiming at, all right? That's changing levels. Get to work.